Okay. Time has arrived. Won't meeting order. We'll accept pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome to a very cold morning. Hope everybody's safe. So we'll start with the commissioner review and update.
Well, I had our LHE meeting. They're still plugging along, doing good things for our community. They're working on a few things for this upcoming spring, dealing with health, like a health fair activity, keep moving activity. So that'll be interesting. Participated in the Geary County Mental Health Task Force that is just being put together. It's the result of the Stormont-Vail Health Assessment. And so law enforcement's at the table, which I think is extremely important. And so I'm looking forward to what things can be done. Like I said, it's just really preliminary and our Geary County Child Care Task Force, we met and with our new director, which I'm very excited to have her on board. We'll be doing a Yeartown with Eagle Radio this week too. And then I also did an interview with KJCK on some of the accomplishments that we did last year as a commission. So I think that should have like this morning and get to check that out. Our Flint Hills Regional Council, they are, we had that on Fort Riley, which was interesting because we had to move because they had, with such old buildings, they had some issues with where we were supposed to meet. So then we had the last minute, had to meet somewhere else, but everybody got there. There is a grant available for the region in reference to preventing fires, putting some implementation of removing some of those redwood trees, I think.
The cedars?
Cedars and red cedars, that's right, I'm sorry. And so I got Geary Burgess, and so we're going to work together and get this grant available to each of the counties, and open it up to private resident or people that have those kind of risks, fire risks. So that's something good for the area. I attended the JC Can Dance this weekend. It was really Kyler's a dancer now. He'll be here today. I'm gonna have to give him a hard time, but they did really well. It was a fun event. I worked the voting booth, which was kind of fun because all the teams were standing there, doing a little bit of election interference. So it was kind of fun. But they raised some good money for the music education programs at the Opera House, and it was Joe and Sheila's last hoorah, and so it was a little emotional at the end when they were saying goodbye, and they actually thanked the city and county commission for supporting them and how important it is to have something like that in our community for quality of life, and so it was fun. And then I attended the Martin Luther King celebration yesterday. It was he left a little bit early, but they had at the end, which I thought was really a nice tribute to Miss Stevens, Ruby Stevens. They played one of her prayers that she had done in the past as our ending, and so it was pretty neat. So yeah, so I had a busy week.
Yeah, you did. Wow. I'd be remiss to not let everybody know, but Commissioner Tremont won't be with us today, so that's why you see just two of us. So I had a MPO meeting last week, and Not much there other than, pardon me. The open house on February 4th at the public library, and it will go over, we went over a lot of this stuff, but it's traffic safety and goals that we want for the region. Everything from fatalities to entry accidents to non-entry accidents. And so it'll be part of the Connect 2050 is what they call it. And that will be the plan, and the public can give us comments on what they think, what's important to them. That was pretty much it on that one. We had a public building commission meeting last week, and we kind of want to know, I mean, a couple on the board brought it up, that we're setting good money-wise with our bond and with all the work that's getting done at the hospital. But we kind of want to know where we're at, what can we expect moving forward. I mean, how much more have they still got to do? So we're going to start having Jeff Klein come and visit with us, and hopefully he'll be here next week. We're going to have a joint meeting. So, and then I think you remember the joint meeting will only be quarterly now because things have kind of settled down. Matter of fact, Peter's not that involved anymore, and he's pretty well paid up. But financially, things look really good. And
Still taking in more than what we're.
Yeah, we're still taking
Good.
it. And yeah, I think for, if memory serves right, I think that for 2024, we took in close to $800,000 on our accounts receivable. So, I mean, it goes up and down. Some months might be I think we're still making money, so we're gonna keep going. And then let's see what else. Oh, yes, attended the Martin Luther King celebration yesterday, and thought it was very well attended for considering the weather.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, that gentleman that sang, my gosh.
Yeah, he did a great job. Dexter Curry, he did amazing.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I thought that was well attended. And, yeah, I had to leave a little early, but anyway, I think that's about it. The only other thing I would bring up, and probably now is a good time to do it. I don't know whether you were aware of support for Crime Stoppers. So I don't know whether we want to act on that. $350 to sponsor.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we again sponsor a table for the 10th annual Law Enforcement Appreciation Banquet.
I'll second that, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Crystal, how are you?
Cold, how are you?
Oh, doubly cold.
And my husband was going, I don't want to get you for your birthday. I don't want to get you for your birthday. I came to work this morning and I said, hey, you know that heated thing I have on the back of my recliner at home? I want one for my chair at work. So that made it easy. Crystal Malchos, HR Director. Short and sweet today. I have one out of office notification. Jeremy hasn't been a department head, even an acting one for long, but he's always given us the forms. So really happy about that. I have visited with the commissioners to find out the best day or days for CBB director interviews. Next Wednesday or Thursday seems to be the best. So I reached out to the candidates that were chosen for interviews to find out from them if Wednesday or Thursday would work better. At this time, I haven't heard back yet, aside from, oh yeah, either day. So
The 29th?
29th or 30th.
30th, okay.
So for now, please hold both of those afternoons available. But as soon as I confirm with them, I will get back to you and let you know, and then let Teresa know as well, so that she can update the agendas. I would like to do, as far as we haven't received any other Public Works Director applications, so just the 2 qualified ones. So I would like to get those scheduled for the following week, if that would work with everybody, an afternoon that following week. And if the agenda isn't that big on the 3rd, maybe we could even do it the afternoon of the 3rd after your regular commission meeting.
Okay, that would probably be better for me.
Okay, so that's what I will plan on for that. And then since Betsy's not here, we can't follow up on the other items, so we'll wait.
She's gonna be, I don't know, she had a hearing, so, I'm not sure. She said she was gonna be late, I don't know how long.
Okay, so the other items that will have to wait, because I haven't been able to get with her about her interpretation of the policy that we'd asked for.
Okay.
And I don't know if she's reviewed that elected officials signing of the policy manual thing
Okay.
yet. That's all I have.
Wow.
I'll be back at 11:30 with Rick.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tammy, are you ready?
Yep, I am. Good morning, Commissioners. Tammy Robinson, Finance Director. Just have a couple of items here. The first one I have is the project funding authorization form request for the CIP that you approved last week, which was the exterior metal replace windows and overhead doors, extension office roof replacement, and the patrol vehicles is what we had approved last week. And so the commissioner just needs to sign those. The chairman. And then the other thing I have, there was a letter that came in from Mickey Dean at the chamber. I had sent that to you guys concerning a matching request to support a partnership between the Play JC and promoting youth sports in the community. They were requesting $2,500 in matching contribution, so that's out there for you guys to consider this morning.
Well, would you give your input, because I saw what you kind of shared in your email.
Well, it's completely up to you guys whether you do this or not. My understanding was when we did the appropriation that this was for these types of things, as well as there are some operational expenses. So I didn't know if that meant that really they should be taking it from the appropriations we gave them. Or, the other thing is if you do decide to do this, I do think it should come from the Economic Development Fund, and there's only about $7,000 in there for you to do these things.
I don't know, I figured, I was like you, I thought, well, that's part of our appropriations.
Unless I'm misunderstanding, I guess that was what I thought that part of our appropriation was, to support these types of economic development within the community.
Because they use some of that money too for travel and all kinds of stuff. I would think it would fall in that realm, but I may be wrong.
But this is for like a special, and maybe they shouldn't have asked, maybe Play JC should have asked us, you know what I mean? If they're, wanting to do a project.
Well, and then you also have to think about it, it's outside the budget cycle, and we had the YMCA come and ask for money as well, and we haven't approved any of those funds to be given to them for this same type of thing, so one way or the other, if we do this, it's something that you need to figure out if you want to set this precedence or if this is not a road you want to go down.
Well, here's another thought. Could we, use CVB funds?
They definitely could go to CBB and request those funds. I don't know that we can just tell them they have to use those, but I do think it could be, because they have all sorts of entities that come for these types of sponsorships. So, I mean, it makes sense. CBB would definitely be a place to,
I think it'd fit better.
I think so too.
well, because we don't have an actual economic development program, probably so. And that may be something in the future. You guys want to look at developing an economic development program where people have to put in applications and where you actually have more money sitting out there for those specific purposes, but we don't have that in place at this point in time. So the CBD may be the best look for that. And I can certainly reach back out and let her know that that was the direction that the commission requested, is that we go through CBD and see if they could get some of those funds. Is that
would
what
be
you
my
read?
suggestion.
I think that's a good idea, because I do think it fits better.
Okay, I will reach back out and let her know that. Okay, the only other thing I was going to mention, I do see that the chief is coming in after me today, and I did reach out to them about a week ago and asked for the November and December EMS bills, because we didn't have those and we want them in this budget cycle, or in this budget year for 2024, not 2025. And so they did send them, but one of the forms, I think he probably copied the wrong one and sent it twice instead of adjusting it. So I did ask for a correction on that, but the plan is to get those paid out with this next cycle that goes out on February 4th. So we should have those taken care of. And I think that was the only thing. Well, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the 911?
I think we need to put the 911 fund issue on the agenda for next week and have a presentation with the sheriff here. And then we can invite the members and the police chief, and Milford and Grandview, just so we have those. They need to see the analytical that was done, and we need to figure out what the future is of that.
Because, I mean, we're running out of money. If they do
So-
what I have calculated, they're gonna have about $2,000 starting 2026, and that's it. And right off the bat, they have a $109,000 payment that goes out in January, which hopefully, I mean, we're planning on paying it on February 4th as well, because we didn't have the funding to pay it at the beginning of the year.
And we had a brief discussion in our PBC meeting about that.
Oh, did you?
but, that was just more informative, because that's out of our purview, but
It is out of our purview, but, I mean, I do think that.
Ultimately, I think it's funds that are collected from our taxpayers, and I feel we as elected officials, both city, county, Milford, and Grandview, ultimately are responsible for them. I mean, we can't, I mean, it's just like saying, oh, we're not responsible for the hospital when we were giving them money. You know, if it's not being done correctly, I feel we need to take take initiative and correct this. So, and it needs to be all of us, because it's all of our, it's all of our we represent everybody that we get the money from, so.
Well, and I'm not sure what you do if they run out of money. How is that handled? Because you guys have absolutely no obligation to fund 911. And so, they started 2023 with $392,000. They started this year with 115. With an analytical that looks like, based on past history, they're gonna end the year with a deficit of 113, which puts them at that 2,000 next year. They can't sustain the costs that they have annually with that kind of money.
Yep.
And, 911 is a set amount that you get based on the cell phones, the phones in your area. So it's not like you can count on any of that to increase. And
Yeah,
so I think
so
there's gonna have to be something figured out as far as a plan to get this under control and figure out how we're going to get back.
Now, you're talking about the one account, because there's two accounts. There's the
second
old and there's the
account-
new.
And the old one, it has very specific
Right.
items that you can spend those dollars on. So they can't tap into those funds unless it meets that requirements. And the things they're spending in this new one don't.
Mhm.
And so with that being very limited, that doesn't help them.
I think we should put it on the agenda next week and invite all those entities, please, don't you think?
Yeah, we gotta do something.
Yeah, I mean, we can't just ignore it.
And one other thing I do want to point out, Jamie did send you an email and let you know, and this is shame on the state, but one of the things that they required community corrections to do was to take all their reimbursements that they get for like their UAs and other service type items that they provide and separate it from their adult and their juvenile funds. They cannot commingle those funds anymore. So in doing that, those reimbursement funds in the past have always carried them until the state decides they're going to give them the money, which we're at their mercy.
Yeah.
And in this case, you know, we have the expenses in juvenile and adult, and state hasn't given us our money in January. So it's out there this morning, we see that it's been approved, but it's still not in our bank account. Last Friday, it was pending. So, I mean, they're taking their sweet time in getting us the money, which, you know, and this is something that we need to tell our legislators.
I was just getting ready to say that.
Because when we go and we file our bond payment, by statute, we're required to have it out there and available for them to pull 20 days before it's due. It has to be in there where it's a statute violation. This case, this was due on January 1st, and we're on January 21st, and it's still not in our bank. And so, you know, they're not giving us the same consideration that they expect from us, and their dollars are a lot more unlimited than ours.
Mhm.
And so I feel like this is an injustice to our community corrections who already are completely underfunded. And then they're at the mercy of waiting, and they have been told to take these reimbursements out of their accounts, and they can't even rely on them to keep them positive until they decide to pay us. So I just want that out there.
Is it
Pass it
something
on
we
to
should
our
write a letter
legislators.
about, or?
Well, I mean, I think whatever we can do, I think it would be great. Chris Ann was reaching out to them all last week and saying, hey, still haven't paid us.
Reaching out to
The
the
state?
state.
Yeah.
I
So they're funding,
was
so,
talking about our legislators.
What, maybe we should write a letter.
and Chris Ann would maybe be able to give you a name of who would be a good person to send this to, but, you know, they can't operate like this.
No.
And I'm not sure what the answer is, because if they can't commingle funds to try to cover it until they pay us,
I
and
wonder,
then, so we get a statute violation because we're negative because the state won't pay us, or we get a statute violation because we commingle
Commingle
funds to
funds,
cover
yeah.
us. And so, you know, neither one of those, we shouldn't be having to deal with this at the local level. So I just wanted you to be aware of that and make sure that you know, we know it and we're not happy about it, and there's nothing that we can do because our hands are tied with the state, as usual. All right, that's all I have this morning.
All right,
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Do you want 30 minutes for that 911 thing?
Yeah, it doesn't take that
I
long.
Are you on that board?
No,
Oh, so there's no elected officials on the board
I don't
besides the
think so.
sheriff?
The sheriff.
That's
Sure.
it.
no. it's,
I don't even know who all's on the board.
Well, now it's,
What'd they say they were gonna replace Tony Van Buren?
Yeah.
And
well, yeah, so there's like sheriff,
city
police chief,
Yeah.
Grandview police chief, Tony represented, I think represented Milford.
I thought Brad was on there.
Who?
When,
Brad Rager?
Yeah, he was, I don't know
Oh.
if he still is.
yeah, I don't know.
John Moyer,
Mhm.
can't remember if it's 6 or 7. But.
I just cannot believe we would get it, variable loan. I mean, if you're gonna pay it off quick, I think those are worth it, but
Probably should have done a bond. Looking back.
well, or a fixed rate, so you know exactly how much you're gonna be paying every month. I mean, a variable rate is very,
For their
They're
equipment that
variable.
they bought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the equipment, dispatch, I mean, it's all,
Yeah.
why did that, I know that they put that together in 2020 or 19. Well, why did they, what did they do prior to the 911 board?
it's always been there since I.
Oh,
was
you
gonna
have,
say,
it's been in there that
Yeah,
long,
when
okay, I
Joe
wasn't sure.
Jensen was here, he was on the board, I remember Tony was.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been there.
I wasn't sure what the history, I mean, I remember talking about, but but I didn't know if there was a specific reason why that was put on, like.
But there was an old fund.
Yeah,
and
because that was
the
very strict on what you
Yeah,
could
they
use
won't
it
let
for.
you.
Senate, and then the Senate passed the second one. Can't think of the name, 50, is it SB?
Oh, 51. I think SB 51. SB
51,
50.
I can't remember. Should know who was. Brad's son. Huh. Oh, did I read that, the Child Care Coalition got a grant?
Yeah, they did to hire the,
Yeah.
I reported that, yeah, we did, to pay, somebody to be the,
How much was it?
it was $30,000, 20 of it goes to the director, and then, 10 of it for marketing and training. So yeah, we were pretty excited about that.
I forgot I had an EDC meeting too. I'm busy. Yeah, we had, our EDC meeting, they just talked about, starting the new year and, or the new city manager was there, and, economic development is important in our community and, bringing in, businesses and helping businesses that are here is the main goal of what I think our EDC, should be doing and is doing. I know that they, some people talked about UPU and hopefully they'll be, able to get somebody in that building. I think it's a fairly nice building, so I would think that it wouldn't take too much, but, yeah, there wasn't anything earth shattering in there, so.
That's been part of the problem, not having open space available, so now there is some.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Not thinking, I know I've done that before too, and I'm like, yeah.
It hit me last night when I was in Oakland.
Crystal was wanting to know if you had a chance to go over the policy budget, and something else. I can't remember. What else did Crystal want to know?
And I thought that's a question or two that she had, she replied to one of my emails, but.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she just asked, and I wasn't sure what time you were gonna come, so.
The policy and the handbook.
The handbook, yeah. Oh, for the elected officials.
Signing.
Having them signing
Yeah.
the handbook.
Sending you guys, all copy of the 911 profile. So you guys all have it.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hey,
Morning.
Morning.
how are you?
Can't, haven't seen you forever. You don't, I thought maybe you didn't want to come anymore.
It has been a while. I missed one meeting.
But you guys only come like quarterly, so.
Right.
I thought it was more than one.
Hi Jamel, how are you?
Hey Trish, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, you as well.
Was Tammy coming?
No, she just was, she had just said that she asked for something with the last bill and she wanted to
Yes.
make sure that we got it in time so we could get it paid for the,
We'll explain.
oh, okay. Well, then maybe we should have her then.
That's why this man's here.
Oh, all right.
Closest restaurant?
Pardon?
Closest restaurant?
Oh, right down there.
On the left-hand side.
I guess
He's in charge.
I mean, I just,
Oh, you take care of those two. They're our bills.
our bill? Your
No,
bill.
they're our bills.
Oh, we'll wait for Jamil to get back.
Yeah. And then you might introduce yourself so the public knows. I don't
You're live right now?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yes, we will. I think we do that anyway, don't we? Or no?
It's a little warm.
It's kind of warm in here.
Tammy, she got a terrarium over there.
Do that, but I have nothing on. That's what the room is, without heat or air.
Just waiting on you.
Okay, well, I am Jason Lankus, the fire chief of Junction City. We'll introduce each other.
Jamel Wilcox, the finance director for Junction City.
Ken Bosberg, EMS chief, Junction City.
And this is our quarterly meeting we have with you guys. So, thank you. And you've been, you probably already have the fourth quarter in front of you, as well as the annual. Do you want me to go over the numbers or just, you guys got that?
Got any highlights you wanted to point out?
No?
Maybe for the public's, interest, you might want to share some numbers.
Okay. For the quarterly, for the fourth quarter of 2024, the posted charges were 283,340.50. Which as you get down below, that's year to date, but you have write-offs, adjustments, bad debt. Bad debt was 44,486 and change, and contractual write-offs was 50,410.34. Then you have Medicare, Medicaid in there as well. Medicare was 19,745 and change, as Medicaid was 11,237 and change for fourth quarter. Receipts from patients, as you can see up there, is 11,767 and 7 cents change. And then you get to our annual. Total charges is $1,180,283.50 for total. And you can see at the very bottom, write-offs and bad debt was at $202,357.35. As contractual write-offs was $219,651.09.
Thank you.
How about the transfers, probably? I just pulled it up just now.
On the other sheet?
Yeah.
We've already moved to the other sheet. Any questions on those two sheets?
No.
Kent, go ahead.
Had 82 total transfers. That includes in-town transfers and then 46 out-of-county transfers. Obviously doing fewer transfers, but what we have seen a large increase in is public assistance calls. Had 211 of those last year. And I think that was almost 100% increase from the year before.
Wow.
Had 113 the year before. Sorry, not quite 100% increase. But
So, just explaining what that is, like, if somebody falls and can't, didn't necessarily take them anywhere, you just help them.
yeah,
Correct.
so public assistance calls are anything that they're non-911 calls. So people are calling for lift assist, welfare checks, just needing help with movement. Sometimes they're just want checked on. So we're seeing a huge increase in those.
Interesting.
Any rhyme or reason in your opinion?
We have one lady that has some medical issues, and due to her landscape, wheelchair ramp isn't accessible for her. Have one lady that is just a high utilization person, trying to get more home health type access to her. Have one person that is a high utilization user that has just really fallen through the cracks of the healthcare system, and working with the, she fell out of one home health system and trying to get into another home health system, trying to bridge all the gaps to get her some benefits. So that's where I spend a lot of my time, is trying to identify these high utilization users, trying to get them help they need and resources that they need. We don't really have a social worker in this county, so well, let me rephrase that. We have Cindy Washington that works out of Valley View. She's the only social worker that's actually in this county. So we worked with her to try to identify some resources.
So Geary County does not have an adult protective services from DCF?
No.
Really?
So we
So do you make a report to Sydney, or do you do the APS report online to DCF and then they contact Sydney, or?
I just contact Sydney myself of, hey, this is a person in need. How can we get this person some resources?
Because we used to have one here.
Yes.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, she was the social worker for the hospital for many years.
Yeah, for many, many years.
And
But
then-
DCF used to have one assigned to Geary County Adult Protective Services.
Yeah, and then I don't know what happened. I don't point fingers. But we are just moving forward and trying to fix the system.
Wow.
Thanks, Ken. Next.
Next is the question on, is the ambulance and equipment. We took that ambulance out, which was a 290, I think it was a plus 1,000, and equipment, EMS equipment was around 100 something with the 2 monitors, 2 auto pulses, and 2 ventilators. We took that out of the 2025 budget. And then you guys had a special meeting on 8/21/2024, agreeing to a 2 million, whatever, 27 of change. So we took that med unit out, and you said we started a CIP agreement, correct? That's what you guys were gonna look into.
We haven't started anything, because we
Right.
haven't had any discussion,
Well-
but it was on the table to talk about.
Okay, and then the 13th of January, you had a CIP discussion, right? Clear to 2029, and EMS was not even mentioned. Are we in a different category?
Well, we don't have an agreement with the city yet going
Okay.
forward from 26. But I mean, we're not, that's not to say we're not gonna be able to do that, but what I think it's something we definitely need to be involved in. But we've not had a discussion as far as where we're gonna go past 2025, right?
Right.
That's the reason why it's not on there.
But don't you think you at least put in there that, like we explained every meeting we've had, a med unit's over $300,000, 2 defibrillators gonna be around $50,000. To put that in to start, at least to plan and put that into your
Does the
budget.
city have a CIP one? Because you guys don't even have one yet either, so. I mean, you know,
We do.
I think you
We're
do.
starting it right now.
You're starting it right
We-
now, so.
Well, we've had it on our, what to put as a, an ambulance here and there, what's high mileage, when are the equipment, the hours.
The city has not, I mean, when I met with, Jerry Vernon, he said there was no CIP involved for the city and and so.
Okay, for city, but for department is different otherwise. We kind of had a plan on
So
this.
you have
we
like a
need.
capital outlay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
So
yes.
how much do you guys put in for, I mean, we've not seen it, so how are we supposed to know? I mean, you've told us how much this stuff is, but we don't know what your plan is as far as going forward on when you guys need this equipment, when do you need that equipment? I mean, don't you think we need that to do that, to be able to take
True.
care of that?
But when we said we took out the med unit and the equipment, that probably the next year we need to be looking into getting that.
That is a fluid, I mean, based on our needs, that is a fluid CIP. And,
Right.
Us going forward, until we know what's going on, how do we know how much we need? That, we have a specific amount that we put in every year based on how, we're budgeting. And so that is a very fluid document. So just because it wasn't in there doesn't
Okay.
mean it's not going to be in there.
Okay. That's good.
And I see your concern, but I
Yes.
mean, but until we have an agreement, I don't know how we can plan. You know what I mean?
I know.
So, but yeah, I mean, that would be something beneficial for us to have, is your guys's, okay, in this year we have this and this is when we
Right.
want to replace that. I mean, that's how we're gonna be able to help with that.
And every 3 years is plan on a new med unit that we
So-
Is that
purchase.
kind of the standard?
Like this year, we already paid for the ambulance last year. It's gonna be at this first of the quarter is gonna be delivered. So in March sometime.
Mhm.
or March. But we need a power load system that we be built. It was $60,000 for a power load system that comes with a new med unit. That's a power load for the cot and a power load system to put the patient in there. It's the Stryker system that we get every year with that ambulance. So that will we'll be asking for you guys, which actually is cheaper. This year is $56,270 instead of the current $60,000. So 2/3 of that, yeah, we'll be asking for you guys around $4,000 or $5,000 to help pay for that part.
Well, I mean, I know we've said this before, I mean, I just feel like we thought we were just getting rid of this whole entire situation. We are wanting to work with you, and I'm gonna be straight up. I think that there was a lot of stuff that was not relayed to you properly based on discussions that were had with legal.
I don't know if it was because of the higher ups didn't want to share, but I don't know how many times I saw emails after a meeting and it wasn't anything about what was said. And so we are wanting to work with you. I think I talk for the whole commission because I think this is the best scenario for our community to provide EMS and rescue services to our citizens. You guys are top notch in your service, but you know, you need to stop thinking that we're not wanting to work with you because we are. And like I said, this is the best way we can move forward for our citizens.
But we gotta be able to work with the city. I mean, you know,
Agreed.
at the end of the day, it's between.
But
us
just
and
because
city.
that wasn't in there has no
Okay.
bearing
No.
on, that is a fluid document that could change.
We have
monthly.
quarterly, no, we have quarterly.
No, I know, but it could change as far as the
Oh, yeah,
needs, you know, our CIP needs. I mean, Public Works probably gonna come in here and ask us for some money today, I guarantee you.
Yeah. My thing is they were all on there and EMS,
Right.
Yeah,
not even a
No, and
question
that
mark
makes
is my,
but each
But yes.
department head submitted based on when they are gonna probably be needing stuff and when, you know, and just like we've had to, because we had an accident, so, you know, one of the vehicles got wrecked. And so that had to move up. You know, we were gonna be able to probably keep that truck for several more years, but then we had to put it on there. So that is definitely a fluid document. It has nothing to do with, that's all we're doing.
And kind of with your point, I mean, you said every 3 years for a new med unit. You know, if you notice on that sheet, our patrol cars, you know, are on there consistently, switching out. So, yeah, no, I'm glad you brought it up because we just need to get with the city and. hey,
Well,
what direction?
we need to still, I mean, the
We need to meet.
negotiations isn't done. And so hopefully, and I have a really good feeling after meeting with Mr. Zimmerman that he is on board to, you know, work together and, you know, we just need to have communication and clear and concise communication all of the way. That means if there's, you know, discussion with us, you guys get everything that's exactly that said. Because I think that there's been omissions and a little bit of adjustment on things that we have said and want to do and go forward.
which the last thing I have is the question with Tammy with the 13,100. We had a mass casualty ambulance that we sold for 12,500, and then there was a CPR class around 600 that we're tracking that down, but would be $13,100. So that mass casualty is on the ambulance EMS side. We've already put that as a PO for 2024 because of the engine that was being rebuilt is dead. So we have to replace that engine. So that's at least a $30,000. So we made a PO already to start to repair that, which is a 2017 ambulance. It's still good. It's still in our fleet. So, but blown no motor, and that's where that money will be pushed to redo that engine. So that answers your question for the 13,100.
Did I send that to you?
Yes.
I'm drawing a blank that I.
No, because this morning, remember you were saying with the billing, you had a question on the
It's December's
billing and
bill.
then,
Oh, no, your summary page, I got November twice.
Oh.
That's it,
Oh,
that's all.
yeah, that's why,
So I just asked for have you check your December one, and I didn't.
okay. Well, you come across at 13,100.
yeah, that was the only question was,
Okay.
they thought that it was sent to what, that instead of November and December, it was 2 times November.
That's
Yeah.
easy.
Your second page that has your summary of all the costs. And the reason that's important is because that's the only page I can get your revenue from, because there's nothing else that gives me that.
Yeah, it says December, but the total is just, was November. I'll get that fixed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I was gonna follow up with you after you were done, but. for the follow-up.
Anything else?
No.
No, appreciate it.
Okay.
Other than that, how's it going and how are you staff?
We can hire 2 more this year. We have an interview in 2 weeks with 3 of them to get that, which would be 18 for all shifts. Or 2, each shift, or 2 of the shifts are shy of 1 person. So we got this year to do 2 more. And now negotiations will start again for 1, 2, or 3 year with the interlocal agreement. So we'll start that this year and let you know how that goes as well. So.
Well, if you could get that, your CIP, to Tammy,
Yes. So we can get our slot.
yeah.
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 No,
Med units, like, yeah, you guys know, like the cops' cars, they go up and
Mhm.
all the bells and whistles. And we used to get a governmental agreement with the stock of the, the chassis, and we don't even get that anymore. I don't know why, but oh well.
No love.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay, well, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Nice of you to visit, Janice.
Looks like you guys had some financial questions and all that.
No, it was just
Yeah,
that
heavy.
we saw that she just needed that second page.
He wanted to meet you anyway. So.
Yeah. We're good.
But yes, I agree. We need to meet together and chat.
Yeah, anytime, we're open.
Okay.
So, thank you. Stay safe.
Yes, do warm.
Yeah. Okay, here's everything done.
You too.
Jeremy? Ready?
Good morning.
By yourself?
By myself today, yep. Jeremy Myers, interim public works administrator.
You don't have to say that. That's what he is. I know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you're ready, we'll get started.
Yeah.
First thing I had was a action item, request a petition, High Plains Resources. You guys should have gotten a copy of that. That is for seismic testing out on Wolf Road. There's only 1 mile in Geary County that they're looking at doing this testing on. I did reach out to Martin with Dickinson County, spoke with him a little bit about this. They've done a lot of testing over there. He's very happy with High Plains Resources, and they do an excellent job. He's had no issues with them. I did throw a little note in there about road repair should something happen, but he said it's very unlikely. They do try to do this during the best of conditions and those. So with that, Commission doesn't have any questions. I'd recommend approval for High Plains Resources on the requested petition.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Next, I have Geary County landfill tree debris contract. We received 1 contract for the 2025 landfill tree debris site. All commercial businesses who do not enter into the contract will need to continue to have to weigh each load at the transfer station prior to disposing of their load at the landfill tree debris site. And as a reminder, any business or commercial hauler caught dumping illegally without making payment arrangements as outlined in Resolution 121823 shall be assessed a penalty of $500 a load. So I know Kaylin got all that information out to all the prior people, and we only got 1 back, so.
Okay.
Big Lakes dues, HHW Noxious Weed Supervisor Jason Britt attended the annual Big Lakes Regional Household Hazardous Waste Program meeting for the 2025 budget. Geary County's assessment is $20,067.50. And this is the same price as the last 2 years. Big Lakes Regional HHW is made up of 11 counties, county HHWs, and the assessment is determined by population. So that would be paid out of solid waste fund. Some of the things the assessment help covers are administration, labor, fuel, repairs, supplies, insurance, building rental, transportation, and training. Annex building RTU during TCA or thermal comfort air PM preventative maintenance. Technician found that the RTU that serves the DMV had small cracks in the heat exchanger. Labor and materials, $2,422. Around a week and a half to get the parts for that. The unit is still operational at this time, but I did give the go-ahead to get the parts coming. With the updated procurement policy, this cost doesn't require approval by commission, but still like to advise with these sorts of costs. So that would be a facilities fund. Speaking of Tammy. Senior Center roofing project. Received an email last week from Danker Roofing that the material is being delayed and will not be delivered until Wednesday of this week. They were planning on starting the project on Wednesday. However, after looking at the weather for this week, with the temperatures, they're kind of leery of the bonding adhesive working. So they're going to hold off and let us know when they can get that started, and hopefully the weather will cooperate soon. Emergency management roofing project, weather permitting. Stanfield would like to start the roof work on the emergency management building sometime during the week of the 27th through the 31st. And as soon as I have an exact date, I'll let Geary and staff over there know as well. LTAP training. If you'll remember, last October, we held an in-house training session with an LTAP instructor on signing low-volume rural roads. After this class, LTAP reached out to see if we would want to host any future classes. And with that, we will be hosting a gravel road and street maintenance class on April 1st in our break room. And we had initially planned to have our EOs participate in this class. And as a host, we get one free registration for that. So. Been to a lot of the different LTAP classes in different counties, such as Saline and those, and it's nice to host one here and participate in helping out with that, as they do provide great information.
And what does LTAP mean?
Local transportation something. I don't quite remember, but I can get you all of that.
I'll put that in the minutes. Local
Something,
transportation.
something, yeah.
You said.
As I'm drawing a blank on what the A and the P is.
Local Transportation Assistance Program.
I think you're right, but I won't quote you. 120 snow event that had been yesterday. Crews were out during the morning hours and early afternoon for snow removal. With the salt residue from the prior snow event, roads began to clear up rather quickly once that little bit of amount of snow was taken off. So didn't have to spend a whole lot of time out there. Building maintenance was in at 4 a.m. this morning to clear the sidewalks and building entrances. With that, I would request approval for overtime pay due to the 120 Martin Luther King holiday during this pay period.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 And just a little update on the snow event before that. Geary County crews assisted Junction City Public Works Department on 114 with snow removal on the southwest side of Junction City. Due to the remaining work being in residential, we didn't do any more work beyond that point because it was tight and our equipment was big and didn't want to risk damage to our equipment or personal property. So
Well, I appreciate you doing that. I think it was a good gesture for us to be able to.
I think so too, and I think in the future, should things become as we experienced on this one, we can definitely assist again if that's what commission would like to do. So,
Let's hope we don't get that much snow
Yeah.
again, ever
oh
again.
yeah, it was a bear, but we got through it.
Yes.
So, and then I just kind of wanted to jump back to my last meeting. Keith, Commissioner Asher, had asked the question, kind of, how our crews got here, I fumbled around it, didn't really understand the question totally, but aside from us getting an early jump on that, ensuring that our crews can get there, I did learn after the fact with, this current big snowstorm that we had, that we've got a few employees that live outside of the county, and they actually took it upon themselves to stay with either friends in town, a pastor in town, and in one case, one of our employees rented a motel room just so they could be sure to be able to make the call when needed. So I think that really shows the dedication our employees have to the Public Works Department as well as the citizens of Geary County.
Yes,
So
that's awesome. Thank you
really
for
proud of
sharing
them for that. It's a good
Yes, tell
deal.
them, thank you. You guys did an amazing job and I'm glad that you shared that because I think people need to know how dedicated we have, our employees are to the community.
Yep, no, it was a good thing.
Oh,
Kind of blew me away when I learned that. I was like,
Thanks for
that is
looking
good
into
above
that.
and beyond stuff, so. And with that, that's all I have for this meeting. You got any questions for me?
You only had one bill for
How's the equipment holding up?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said, you only had one bill for 4,000.
I know,
You better put this down as
that's why it's cold.
a mark.
I know. Well, until Friday, he didn't have anything to send with the packet, and I go, are you sure you don't have anything? Oh, not this time. Well, then this thing came in.
Yeah,
Okay.
about as soon as I sent the email, I got a phone call from downstairs. Mr. Jeff Coates here to see you, which is with High Plains Resources.
That's
We were
usually
able to
how it
get,
works.
able to get that one finished up.
They testing seismic.
Geological hydrogen is what they're looking for.
Oh,
So, he says that's the next greatest fuel that's gonna come about, so.
Man, I remember years ago, they did that, and I don't know how far they went with it, but they were trying to sell leases, buy leases from farmers.
Yeah, I guess kind of how he was explaining this one to me, that they go, not only do they get a request to petition through us, they go to all the landowners, and if the landowner is okay with them, going in front of their property, they pay them $100. So this is a good gesture, I guess.
They swore that it's there.
Yeah, he was kind of showing me some of their technology and stuff. It's pretty wild, the information that they gather with sounding notes and look at the layers of the earth and the pockets of hydrogen and how they determine whether it's worth going after or if it's not. So it's a very, very small little area in Geary County, Dickinson County. I know they've done a lot of it over there. That's why I reached out to Martin and got some information there. So
Nice.
network with your neighbors. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Until next time. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks.
Might need just to say.
Yeah, you would have not got too far.
You know it as soon as you walk out the door.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, you're welcome.
That'll be it.
Cecil, how are you?
How are you today?
How you doing?
There it is. If there's anything.
Enjoying retirement?
Yeah, I see, I go back. I just been there 3 years.
Oh, yeah?
Somewhere in biology, then
Well, that's good.
It's just nice not having a lot of stress other than when I see Keith, and that always seems to stress me some.
Oh, well, yeah, I know what you mean.
I forget every time I start with it, because it's a difficult voice to teach. It's hard to reach these songs. I try to go with the opposite. It's a book that goes to like atmosphere.
Morning, Rick.
Morning, sir.
That's great.
Yeah.
I change it every time.
Yeah,
Otherwise, no. Get bored.
yeah, no.
Any copies, you know?
I got 300 people. That was so cool. I was like, thinking that.
It was actually awesome. That again, so.
Not again. I don't think I can change my choices ever again. I just can't.
And I like to go. It's great.
Oh,
Is anybody on the trail?
I didn't dress up for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got the good shirt on.
I'm kind of I said, no. I'm sure there's somebody's coaches that's been out there hiking it.
Yeah. They love it that way. So I told Holden, they make it in front entrance sign, 70 sign. I'm kind of past the show, you guys. Do what you want.
The stones I know.
It's pretty simple. When you take care of
There's
the
a.
crime stopper thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's why I was like, you guys. do what you want. If he's in charge, then just stay back.
Let me know when you hear that. It's my suggestions on the last. Sign.
Well, Rick, are you ready?
We are missing one person. She should be here
That's
shortly.
fine. That's fine.
Just something you want to update while you're waiting for her?
We can do that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Introduce yourself and.
Sure. First, let me say thank you, Commissioner Chairman Asher and Commissioner Geary, for giving us time today. We do have some guests here. I'd like to introduce you.
Introduce yourself first.
Oh, I'm Rick Dykstra. Most of you know me.
CBB employee.
CVB, Convention Business Bureau. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. We have Dr. Blair, John Blair. He is the Director of Cons of Prairie, or as I have learned, the Cons of Prairie Biological Station. Did I get that right, Jill? And we have Jill Hocus, Education Director of the Cons of Prairie. So we're waiting for our chairperson and we'll transport, but I'll just do some other business while we're waiting if that's okay.
Sure.
I have Cecil Askew here, and you all know Cecil from Brigade Baseball. We're gonna be asking for a donation. They are aligning themselves this year with a new league, and Cecil, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, without giving away too much, because we're gonna have our annual appreciation dinner, and we'll talk about a lot of that at that, for all of our sponsors and stuff. But we are, as you know, we won the championship again, so 4 times in a row, 8 times in 11 years. And so we felt it was probably time that we change and move a different direction.
Chiefs ain't got nothing on you.
Yeah, they probably should be coming to talk.
Yeah, they should.
But with that being said, you know, like I said, we're going to change leagues, which will be a better league, a league that has been in existence for quite a while, a lot of established teams and stuff. So the competition should be a lot better. But one of the interesting things when we started looking for teams, it's nice to find out that you have a good reputation among throughout the country about the things we're trying to do with Brigade. And, you know, like I always tell everybody, I think part of this, you get all these people coming into this community from these other teams and stuff. So that will broaden the horizon and people coming to the community. So I think we're going to continue to have a really good team. We're changing coaches again, but already as a result of getting ready to change this league, some schools are reaching out to us that had kind of lost contact with this. But once they found out we were moving to the league we're going to go to, so that's really good to know that people all the time have their eye on you, and they see that we're making an upgrade. They are now recontacting, and so we should have another good strong roster.
So how many is gonna be in the league?
This will be a 10-team league. Yeah. A lot of teams up by Wichita area that will be playing this year, and then still a few.
So the CBB is seeking a $10,000 donation for the 2025 year for the Junction City Brigade Baseball. They have a new league, and as you all know, things are costing more. And we couldn't ask for a better person to be leading our baseball effort.
And we'll be traveling a lot more farther distances because of the change. Like I said, it'll be good for us.
What's the difference of the, how many we're gonna host here? We hosted quite a few.
On terms of players or?
No, the games.
Oh, home games.
Yeah, home
Yeah.
games.
Basically, we should have at least 22 to 25. The only downside of this league is that they don't do a traditional championship. You end up going to the National Baseball Congress and playing that. But if we win that league, then we get an automatic bid to go in that, which also helps with your recruiting because that's more of a national thing.
Sure.
But they don't have like in mid-plays league, we would have our championship every year. So technically, you win your league, and then the top two get an automatic bid there. So the goal is to win that, and I think we can do that.
Well, and the reason why I ask is because, the CDB is to bring people into
Right.
town, so I just wanted to make sure we were still gonna be hosting quite a few of those
Oh, yeah,
games to
yeah,
bring people
yeah.
to
Matter
the
of fact,
community.
yeah, and it used to be in the other league, we would have 18 or so special home games, but then we always assume we'd be in the championship. We just picked you up a few more games and stuff. And with this league, like I said, you probably about 20 or so games, and then we'll pick up some additional non-conference games. So
Okay.
we're looking to have that 20-25 games.
So is there still an all-star game?
Yeah, and what will happen with that if you win your league? How they operate if you win the league, you get to host the all-star game the next year.
Oh.
So,
Oh, nice.
Yeah. yeah, oh yeah, so pressure's on.
Any updates on any improvements out at Prather?
I have a meeting with Josh Gray next week to talk about, my understanding is that we're going to replace the fence and some other stuff, and that's my understanding of the budget. We'll sit and talk and make sure, see what that scares on time.
Well, I think it's good. I think it's a very great program that we have here, and our stadium is absolutely beautiful. People from all over the state talk about that, and I think if this is something to bring people into that community or into that facility, I think I will make the motion to go ahead and honor the $10,000.
I'll second that. So, all in favor, say aye.
I
Thank you.
Good job, Susan.
Thank you. Sue's 11:30, she'll be here. Okay, I just don't want to jump all over the place. Jill, as you know, and I'll just pass these along so you can see, give it to you next. They're making a new entranceway pavilion at Conzo, which you will have to go through to get to the trail. And that's very exciting. And you can see they will have a plaque though for the sponsors. And those all will be 3.5 feet high by 4.5 feet wide. So they're nice big signs that will be in this entrance pavilion. And so after discussion with our board, we are seeking a donation towards that pavilion and towards those signs of $5,000 towards the Conza Prairie Biological Station. Jill is probably sitting back there going, we don't rate as high as Brigade Baseball. Well,
Where's the sign? Where's the?
Which one?
Is it this right here? Is that what this is going to be?
yes, that's right.
And I thought it was going to stay here.
No, that, they don't have the thank you sponsor one here yet. I'm sorry.
Well, I thought that they were paying for
Oh,
it. So.
yeah, well, all of those have been pavilions.
Well, that's what I wanted to see. Was what? I mean,
Yeah,
we're
what
getting-
sign looks like.
Those are better signs. Trust me, I'll make sure that. Let me just update you, KDOT is working We did get denied by the Kansas Department of Transportation, but KDOT scooped that project right up there. It does look very good, that they're gonna have exit signs on I-70 for the
Nice.
concert fair, yes. We got good feedback from KDOT.
So, I have a motion,
Well, what are you thinking? I mean, 'cause I wanted to see what the thinking, I mean, with Geary County on there, I mean.
She's ready if she wants to talk about it. I mean, they
Yeah,
have.
I mean, that's what I was asking for the last time, you know, to
I'm
see what the
sorry, I thought
sign
you
looked
meant the
like.
signs, I'm sorry.
Well, I meant the sign that was gonna say,
Okay.
you know, Geary County, so, you know, we had that, you know, the Conventions Visitor Bureau is for, you know, trying to get people into our community, and having Geary County on there, I think would do that. I just was wanting to see what it looked like.
So those are mock-ups that are gonna go to a graphic designer. So once we have funding, the graphic designers then develop, you know, much fancier signs for that. And so I haven't given them a job to do the thank you one yet, because we don't know who to thank yet.
Sure.
So it would be whatever you are conceptualizing is something that we could probably put into the mix.
Okay. I was just wondering what it looked like, and see if it was. What are your thoughts, Keith?
I think it's fine. I think we do have money, right?
Yes.
Okay, well then I make a motion that we do the $5,000 towards that.
And I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Next thing is a KSAE,
What?
the Kansas Society of Account Executives, KSAE. It's the time, we had a half-page ad for $6.99. They want to know if we want to re-up it for the new book. And so I'm here to seek that approval. It goes to all the people that do meetings and conventions. You're probably familiar with the organization.
You're doing great.
We've always done
Half pages.
it.
Not yet, I just looked.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we continue with that. It does, to try to bring people into the area.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
She's got periods. Still waiting on somebody, so, that's really what I have. I put off some things till the next meeting, because I know we're, crunched on time. I'll just go ahead, since we do have a little time, the Denver ISC show, it's gonna be my recommendation that we don't attend in the future. My counts, and we do random counts, were way lower, than what they said they had, and we used a clicker, and there was empty booths everywhere at that show. And it was maybe quarter the size to half the size less, so, it really, I just don't see the value of us going out there spending the money, just my recommendation, so.
I appreciate that,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
it's, yeah, Omaha should be good. I leave for Omaha in the middle of February, and we'll see how that one plays out. So I don't want to just go to shows, trade shows, just to go to them.
Yeah, I mean, we have to see a little bit of return on
Yes,
investment or
yes.
something like
So, our board chairperson is supposed to be here, and hopefully she will walk in anytime. So we can do our next part. So I apologize.
that. All right.
Anybody coming in?
Not yet.
Okay, we got our sentry up there.
Let me step away real quick.
I hear fast footsteps. Here she comes.
She still has 30 seconds.
No.
So it's all right.
No problem, don't hurt yourself.
Well, what an exciting day this is today. I've always had, whether I be at CBB or as an individual, a great passion for Concert Prairie. I think it's a special thing that we have in our backyard. It's nationally known and just a place to go. So we are going to do a partnership agreement signing. And if I could have Dr. Blair and Michelle come on forward up here. Dr. Blair and Keith, if you want to come around. So if you can each rotate through, we're gonna have 3 copies signed, one for you, and one for the commissioner. So if you rotate, you will see on the page where you need to sign. If you can just sign all 3 of them, I'll get a picture when we're done. Good. And Dr. Blair, while you're signing, we're gonna ask you to say a few words maybe.
Sure, no, I'd be happy to. So, I've been with Kansas State University involved with the Cons of Prairie for about 32 years now. I came from a different part of the country. I grew up in Ohio. And largely the reason that I came here and knew about Kansas State was through Cons of Prairie, because I'm an ecologist and I knew about them from when I was in graduate school. I knew about the site. So a lot of people know about us as a place to hike, which is the nature trail, and we get 30,000 or so visitors a year hiking the trail, literally from all over the country as well as local people. And we have a mission, which is research, education, and conservation. And the key thing is if you want to conserve the tallgrass prairie, which is really what is so unique about this part of the country, is that people have to appreciate it. And in order to understand and appreciate it, they have to get out and be in it, and they have to see it. And that's what I think the real value of the nature trail is. And so we're delighted to be able to partner with Geary County and with the committee, the Visitors Bureau to try to bring in more people, expose them to, what is so magical and special about this part of Kansas. And hopefully they'll continue then to explore the greater, the rest of the state and the Flint Hills. And we're happy to do whatever part we can to help with that.
Thank you so
If I
much.
can get a
It is
picture?
gorgeous. I mean, my family's from the East Coast, and of course, they hear Kansas is all flat
Yep.
and boring, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty driving from the airport here. And yet the other day I was driving and, the snow was on there, and it just looks
Yeah.
so beautiful. Just
I love
gorgeous.
bringing visitors from other
Yeah.
parts
Oh,
of
yeah, 'cause
of the
they're
world
just-
here. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not what they envision, and they go away with really good memories of
Mr.
this place.
Giordano, can I get you in the picture? Y'all just stand close.
I was dressed for warmth today, not.
You're the one that worked on all this. Get
Yeah.
up there.
Come on, Rick.
Come on, Rick.
Yeah, Rick, it's your
Get in it.
deal.
I'll do one with mine and one with yours.
Yeah, we'll get somebody to hold up this agreement.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Thank
All right.
Thank you all, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey,
Thanks, Rick. Yep.
So did you know Dave Sampson?
Of course, yes, I sure did. Yeah, yes. Yeah,
Hey,
still see him around occasionally.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a long time, but I used to know him real well.
Yeah, when I first came, Dave was in charge out there.
Yeah.
From managing the station.
Yeah. So my dad was still alive. He said, hey, you want to come
Thank
over? I'll
you,
give you
guys.
a private
Thank you.
tour.
Thank you.
So,
Tell Patty I
and
said
that's
hello.
when they just got fresh.
Yes, yeah. Things have changed a lot.
Yeah, I haven't been over there forever. So,
If you would like, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
contact information.
I was gonna-
All right, yeah.
see, I farm a ranch not far from here.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I'm right off I said, exit 304.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Like I said, if you'd like to see what we're doing up to these days, we have a whole new bicycle handling facility, and you're welcome to come.
I'll be darned. Okay. Well, yeah, if you see Dave, tell him I said hi.
Yeah, I used to run them occasionally at little shows. It's been a while. I haven't seen him for a while either. Well, actually, last time I saw him was out on McDowell Creek Road. He was at acoustic music jam.
There's that. That would be him.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
appreciate that.
Who gets all these copies?
I know.
Are those mine?
I assume. Unless the CVP needs one. I'll ask Rick.
That's hard.
I'm sorry. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Good to see you. And reach out to
We'll keep that. I will.
Okay.
Yes. I think, yes.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I gathered it up. Here, sure. Oh, you get, keep that one. We got one.
Well,
I got one here.
we got two.
Yeah, we got two signed ones.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Thanks, Rick. Uh-oh.
You already know what we're on budget, but we're backed up on paperwork.
If you need me, I'm just.
This one out of there.
I know you still. That's okay. We'll deal with that.
How are you doing, Charles?
Oh, I couldn't be better.
Could you be warmer?
Oh, it's 80 degrees out.
Yeah.
It's a cold 80 degrees though.
Yeah.
Like normally, no matter what temperature, I always tell my kids it's 80 degrees, so they don't need to whine about it. I went out and I tried to tell myself that. I'm like, no, this is not 80 degrees.
No. I make a motion to go into the Board of Health.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
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 So
Fire away.
for this month, things have been going pretty good. Our overall rate for acute respiratory illnesses, those are down.
Really?
Yes. Now, influenza has gone up to about 4%, but that's still really good considering the state average is about 15%, and that's normally what we would expect to see. But we're sitting around 4% right now. So people are staying healthy here.
Huh.
Good.
Even after the holidays.
Yeah, I mean, our,
And an extra week home with all the kids.
I know, they were excited about that.
Yeah.
But so our overall rate, it's pretty good. Our COVID rate, I mean, we're at 0.9% of the people seen at the ER are testing positive for COVID. So that one's real far down. And I already told you about our influenza rate. For our program and our clinical stats, our numbers were right about where we would expect for December, because our numbers always go down. Everyone's on vacation and no one's coming in, but we were right where we were last year for this at the same time. For our surveillance report, so this for the entire year, that's how many patients tested positive for those dangerous outbreaks. So we actually did really well last year. Our numbers were high on everything. And even Salmonella, we had 8 cases total, and none of those were linked to restaurants. So they were, improperly stored at their home. And so 8 cases out of the entire year is pretty good.
Yeah.
Our WIC, so we're down a little bit, and that's because our dietitian is gone, our WIC coordinator just PCS'd, so we're not able to see as many patients.
Are we interviewing for those positions or?
Yes, the jobs are up, but for the WIC coordinator, we haven't received any interest yet. That would qualify.
Yeah.
So they have to be an RN or an RD.
Okay.
And the people who have applied, they don't have the education they need. We haven't started any new initiatives this month just because we're so short on staff. We do have training going on where we're cross-training. We moved, so we had 2 RNs on the clinical side, and we moved one to the WIC side to handle the patients. So we cross-trained her into WIC, and she's doing pretty good. Our breastfeeding peer counselor, we've trained her up to be the interim WIC coordinator. So she's able to handle the day-to-day report she has to send to the state. And we've got one going to get recertified for her to be a Safe Kids technician. It's just to install car seats, but you've got to go every 2 years to get recertified. We don't have any outreach right now. We're down to, so for our staffing updates, we're down to 40% of our staff. And we were already running at a skeleton crew before. And so we're literally rotating people through different positions.
So are we doing anything out of the box to try to address that?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm working with Crystal
okay,
to get that taken care of. And she's recruiting using Eagle Communications, and we're pushing health department jobs more than what we normally would.
are we going to any job fairs?
Yes, we've gone to job fairs. I've contacted a few people from there,
Okay,
of the people that we
I know
met
that's
at the
kind of
job
hard when
fairs.
you're so, short staffed, but, definitely need.
So is Fort Riley an option? I mean, to go out there? I mean, they've got job fairs. Do you go out there?
Yes, in fact, that's where we got a couple of them. Now, getting applicants, whatever Crystal did was amazing.
Mhm.
We received 33 applicants for the clinical side, just for our clerk there.
Yeah.
Or no, it was 33 for the WIC side and 17 for the clinical side. So that's in 5 days. So that's pretty good. And we've already got some interviews scheduled. I've got
Oh,
one
okay, good.
after this. And it's gonna be easy to fill those other positions, but our dietitian, that's gonna be challenging.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Do you think it, maybe making it a little bit like maybe part-time, somebody could come in, so I mean, making it a little more,
So that's how we did it.
okay.
When our other dietitian left to work for the state, we were able to keep another dietitian on board by shifting her to part-time.
Okay,
And it worked out pretty well. And if a dietitian applies and all they can do is part-time, we would work with that.
okay.
It's just finding people in the area who have that certification.
Specific, yeah. Well, I remember, there was a girl that applied for the director's position, that was a dietitian.
Yes. I reached out to her.
Okay, she wasn't interested.
No.
Okay,
So right now, our RN is able to see most of the patients,
Mhm.
but our high-risk patients have to be seen by a dietitian. We're working with Kanza to have them see the dietitian over there.
okay.
It seems to be working out pretty well. We've got another meeting set up to discuss the logistics, but I think it's gonna hold us out until we can find one. So that's our WIC coordinator, our dietitian, a WIC clerk, MSA, which is the clerk on the clinical side, and the office manager. Those are the positions we're trying to fill.
Okay.
And so with all of this, I was gonna request if we can go back to the lunch breaks we had, it was like 3 or 4 years ago, where the whole thing was shut down for 30 minutes, so everyone could go and then come back. Right now, what we're doing is we're rotating from, so our clerk will go to lunch, and we'll move our case manager to handle the front desk. And that takes our case manager away for an hour from, handling her business. And it's the same on the WIC side. We have to rotate those two positions. If we go to Monday through Thursday, everyone goes to lunch at the same time, that opens up our availability.
Well, I don't mind doing it temporarily, but I think as far as a public health department, we should be open over the lunch hour, but because we're having some issues with hiring. But I think once you hire especially an office manager, you guys need to be open during the lunch.
I'm good with that, as long as we can
But I mean, I know you guys are low staffed right now, and I think, on a temporary basis, but I definitely for at least the next 30 days to figuring that out. And then maybe when you come back, we can readdress that.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. For now, until you get back staffed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been rough. So we would have a patient walk in and our case manager is handling the front desk, so they can't be seen for 30 minutes. And then I have to send them to lunch. That's another hour. So I think this will help out a lot until we get back up to our staffing we need. And that's everything I have. It's still going really good. Our numbers are still top of the state. So we're working on thin strings here, but we're not falling apart.
Okay, well, good.
You got any, I don't even know what, when you say the state, do you have any state events that you have coming up to go to?
Not at this time of the year. The only events we have are, it's like FEP exercises. So I'll go over there and it's like we practice if there's an outbreak of something. And, but that's only like half a day.
So since Riley County got a new health director, have you met with them?
I haven't met with them yet. I spoke with them and I've talked with the people who were handling it before. And we're still working with the transition. Yeah, we were covering down on some of their programs until they were able to get reestablished.
You have anything else, Juan?
No, I make a motion, we go out of the, board of health.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Charles.
Thanks, Charles.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Go back out there to 80 degrees.
I know. It'll warm up eventually.
Oh, yeah. Not soon.
Then everybody be hot. You got change orders?
Yep.
Yep. We went for a couple weeks there without very many, and then everybody got all wound up again. I asked the undersheriff who's on the 911 board, and he said it's John Moyer, Jason Lankus, Sean Perano, Assistant Chief Odell, and then there's 2 vacant seats, which was Tony Van Buren and the sheriff, Kaufman. So Milford doesn't have anybody on there. Do you still want to invite them to come?
I would think Grandview and them both, because I mean,
Yeah, well,
that's,
Sean's here. I mean,
Yeah,
anybody's
because
Sean.
Milford doesn't have a chief of police, so.
No. Unless.
I mean, we
for
can
the time-
invite them and see if they want.
See if they want to come,
Yeah.
I'll just tell them about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I make a motion that we accept the change orders.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, no, it's in that room, in there, yeah. Hey, go in the clerk's office and see if you got any mail in your box. Okay, all right, thanks. That's not possible. There was two more.
Oh,
batches.
sorry.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Teresa, could we put some time on the agenda next week for the, since we're missing a commissioner this week and she'd had some questions about the title companies, maybe we could put it on for next week.
Okay.
Because I think that they've gotten their questions answered and maybe we can make a decision next week.
Okay.
Is that okay with the commission?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the minutes from the 9th with, no changes. And Kathy wasn't here then, so we'll go ahead and get these done.
Make a motion, we accept the night, from the night.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
And Trish had given me back the 13th, and I know you haven't read them yet, but there was a couple things in here. When we were doing the reorganization and Kathy moved to name the Daily Union the official paper. Trish said she didn't think that you seconded that. Did you not?
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I did, that's why I said, I don't remember Keith seconding it. I
No.
seconded it with the fact that we
You
would
did.
talk about the,
Yep.
okay, that's the way I remembered it.
Mhm.
So Kathy made the motion with the stipulation that the county look for other alternatives. You seconded keeping the paper for legal publication.
Yes,
Okay. I got
that's the way I remembered it.
Well, yeah, this is down here. And Betsy wants it on the agenda for next week, Keith, to talk about title companies for the tax sale, because Kathy had some questions. So for next week, I just have review and update, Crystal, Tammy, the sheriff is supposed to come and give his first report, he wants to do that, and the joint meeting with the PBC, then we're gonna have the 911 board discussion. And then after public comment, we'll talk about the tax sale.
Then I thought we were having a department head meeting.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do that on the,
Yeah, why isn't that on here? God. Yeah, so we'll do that after the tax sale at 12:30. Yeah, I didn't care, I was born in this whole
Mhm.
other. Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have Travis come in February to talk about the new values or whatever that he sends out on March the 1st. Do you want to have Mickey Dean come sometime? Or
I thought we were having her come quarterly.
quarterly, you still want to do that? Okay.
Oh, what do you think, Keith?
Yeah.
Okay. And the hospital lady, we're gonna do her quarterly or?
I know we wanted to do it the first year, but I mean, if they want to come, they're more than welcome to come, I feel.
Okay,
I mean, I
I'll
don't
send her
know
an
if we-
email and ask
I mean,
her.
as long as we're getting updates from Jeff with the PBC,
Yeah.
I think, that's really mostly.
What you're,
Yeah.
okay, I'll ask her. She always responds very well.
She
Always responds very
Yeah, I know we
well.
talked about like the first year having that, and it's been a year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
that's right.
Get ready, ladies.
Okay,
The doctor.
okay.
Hi,
Public
Travis.
comments full today.
What?
Public comments full today.
How's it going, Trent?
It's going. We got two cats. We have a spot for them in the shop,
Yeah.
window, and they can lay there in the sun, food and water. And one of them sits at our back door all night, every night, just like one inside.
Yeah.
So I woke up this morning, it was -15, and he was sitting there with frost all over his fur, just looking in the back window.
Oh.
What was it?
I can't even feel bad for him.
Yeah, because he knows that we're warm.
You can dream about being in here, you can go cuddle up with the other cat. He's nice enough.
Has he ever been inside?
Not at our
No?
house.
Wow.
He was a stray from up here somewhere, and I think he used to go in
Oh,
a
yeah.
few houses. But, yeah, he's never been right now.
He's a true alley cat.
I call him the junkyard cat. He will eat anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except veggies, maybe. I don't know. You throw like a potato out there and they'll chew on it. Weird.
Cindy Sinclair from the city dropped this off. It's for the, Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant that the city applies for, and it's interlocal. City agrees to pay the county a total of $5,771 of JED funds once received purchases provided to the city. So I need the chairman to sign this, and I guess for you to move or approve the agreement with the city.
So moved.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
I guess we're waiting on Crystal, huh?
Give me a grab her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can we start early?
Sure.
Quite popular today. I make a go into executive session, reference non-elected personnel with the appraiser, HR, and legal. 10 minutes.
Second, all in favor, say aye.